Hello and welcome to the Kerbal Space Race. This is the second time I've had to record this video because the first time I did not plug in my headset and I stupidly did not check the audio levels, so I recorded without sound. Nevertheless, here I am again. I'm going to try to keep this sub 10 minutes, but anyways, welcome to the Kerbal Space Race. I have dedicated this channel to um, just following the space race in Kerbal Space Program. Um, and because this will probably be the most asked question on this channel, yes, I am using an old version of the game. It is KSP 1.0.4, and due to the that is due to the fact that I never bought it on Steam, and the updater that comes with it requires you to enter your purchase information, which was purchase information from 2015, so it's from a long time ago, and I no longer remember it, so therefore I'm stuck in this awkward situation. Anyways, this is probably going to be the only unscripted video on this channel. Um, Basically, how I'm going to do this is I have a prologue that I've already fully recorded by the time I'm recording this video. Um, that I will try to release on, I believe it's April 21st, 2021, which is the 60-year anniversary of Yuri Gagarin's flight on Vostok 1, um, which happened, I believe, April 21st, 1961. So it'll be the 60th anniversary of that. And that's kind of when I want to start off the series, is on that day, because I figured it would be fitting. Um, But anyways, outside of the prologue, which contains a launch in 1944, as well as well, not really launch, but more of a airplane flight in 1947. Um, Outside of the prologue, um, this series will cover the space race from the year 1956 to 1975. 1956 being um, the the year that the Vanguard TV-0 was launched, which is the first launch I'm covering. It's actually not Sputnik 1 that will be the first launch. Um, and the last launch being, it's actually two launches in 1975, that being the Apollo-Soyuz test project, which was like the official end to the um, space race. Even though pretty much everyone accepts the end of the space race as the landing of Apollo 11 in 1969. Um, Rather, the official political end to the space race was in 1975 with the Apollo Soyuz test project, as it was the first international project in space, um, or program. It only had really two launches, anyways. So, excuse me. But yeah, so I'm gonna set it up in a way that I explain a little bit about the launches at the beginning of the video, um, and then I obviously get into the gameplay after that. But I won't be doing like commentary during the gameplay. It's just going to be at the beginning of the video. Just going to do a little bit of narration. Um, Obviously, there will be a little bit less narration about those flights that were complete successes, like for example Vanguard TV-0, which I've also recorded by now. However, I've not finished editing the video. I've just recorded the gameplay. But yes, things like Vanguard TV-0, which were complete successes, will not need as much description because it went completely to plan. But those missions that had partial failures or complete failures will probably require a bit more explanation as they are unique. So how I'm going to release these is I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna follow month by month, basically what happened each month in history of the space race, basically. So like I'm gonna start with December 1956, which is when Vanguard TV-0 was launched, and then I'm instead of covering every month, I'm just covering every month that there's a launch because there was a lot of time between December 1956 with the launch of Vanguard TV-0 and the launch of Sputnik 1 in October of 1957. So I'm just going to go December 56 straight to October 57, for example. I'm going to be covering all man launches. It's the series is mainly going to be man launches. However, there will still be unmanned launches included, and those will be of three categories for me to classify them as an unmanned launch that will be contained in this series. And that is the first type of unmanned launch would be like a manned vessel development um, launch of some sort. So, like the Apollo unmanned development launches, I will be including all of those because eventually the Apollo program was ultimately a manned program. However, they launched their first rockets unmanned to test the capability of the rocket before putting people on it. So I'll include launches like those, which are like the unmanned development launches of a future manned spacecraft. Second type will just be of the Sputnik series, which is there's or Sputnik or whatever, um, and there's only three launches in there. And the reason I'm just including the whole Sputnik series is because, or program rather, is because all three of those flights were record breaking and very important. So I'll just be including all three of them. And then the third type are any other like non-Sputnik that is. Any other unmanned flights that set a record or broke a record or uh, had a first of some sort. That's why I'm including the Vanguard TV-0 as it was the first American object, a man-made object in space. Um, Even though it wasn't like a probe or anything like Sputnik 1, it was just a suborbital test flight of the Vanguard single stage booster, um, and basically just broke up in the atmosphere. But that was all according to plan. Nevertheless, while it wasn't a satellite because it never got into orbit, um, it was a suborbital flight and it did cross the Kármán line, so therefore it was the U.S.'s first space flight. The first space flight of the Russians, as we know at the moment, because there's still a lot of classified information, especially from the older days of the the Soviet space program. Um, from what we know at the moment, Sputnik One was actually was the first flight for them. However, there could have been more development flights previously before that failed because the Soviets frequently covered up their failed missions, whereas the Americans did not. They kept it public information. Um, so, anyways, yeah. So that's kind of the gist of what's gonna happen, and I really hope you join me for this journey. And yeah, hopefully I can get it running on April 21st or whatever the date was of the 60th anniversary of Vostok 1. Um, I hopefully I'll be able to release the prologue then and kick off the series, but I'll release this video as soon as I'm done recording it. Um, so yeah, I want to keep this less than 10 minutes, like I said. But yeah, thanks for joining me uh, along this journey, and I hope to see you in the prologue and eventually episode one, and actually just every episode. I hope you watch them all. I will be putting them in a playlist so you can watch them all eventually. After they are recorded and released and all of that, you can go back and watch as many as you want. But yeah, so thanks for watching and thanks for joining me on this journey.